Welcome to the DIYS podcast. You're welcome.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to all our listenership, our viewership, wherever you are, all over the world. This is the DIYS podcast, the Do It Yourself podcast.
Yep.
We are here again, and my name remains the same, the one and only Sir Patrick Omotayo. I'm the host of the DIYS podcast, and my co-host is here, right on set. But I will let him explain himself. Who are you?
I thought that no, I started to think that you were not going to introduce me. I thought you wanted to just go. Shout out to everybody that's listening to us right now. Shout out to everybody. I just want to thank you guys. You guys are doing amazing. We are seeing the numbers, we are seeing the comments, we are seeing the feedback, and that there's a type of feeling we get from that. And I just want to thank everybody that listened to our last episode and the episode before that. You guys are amazing. And once again, I go by the name Kelvin Amani. Yeah, you know me. I'm your co-host. This is me now saying that if you are listening to us on any platform, Audio Mark, wherever you are listening to us, and you want to see how the studio looks like, you want to see what we look like, you want to see who we have on the show today. You know we didn't have anybody last week, but if you want to see what we are doing today, you can just go to www.youtube.com/Patrick Omotayo, Sir Patrick Omotayo, or just go to YouTube and search for Sir Patrick Omotayo. They are amazing videos. Amazing videos. Trust me. Like I always say, if those videos are not amazing, come to my Instagram and come and bug me. My Instagram is written in this video right now. So come and bug me. Yeah, this is DIYS podcast. I go by name Kelvin Amani, and you are going to have an amazing show today. Trust me. Let me give it back to my pilots. Let him fly the plane.
Don't worry.
I'm covered.
You are covered. You are secured. So we'll land well. Well, this is our 8th episode, and we believe it is going to be an amazing time with our guest. The topic for today's podcast is leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership. That is funny. And that is why our guest is a current occupant of a leadership position. So, because that is why we want someone of his caliber to take up this topic. So we have in the house a born leader. He's a born leader that stood out among all leaders. You know, he's also a lecturer with Federal Polytechnic Bida, Niger State, in Nigeria. And he's a labor activist that ensures that justice and fairness prevail. So, and now he's running his Ph.D. program in University Putra Malaysia, UPM. Aside all of that, he didn't stop there. He is the current chairman of the NAIJACOM, that is Nigeria Community In UPM, University Putra Malaysia. Please join me as I welcome the one and only Mr. Usman Idris Nda-Umar. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure
Thank
to
you,
be
thank you,
here.
thank you,
Pleasure.
thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please keep it on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So please, it's a tradition here on the DIYS podcast that before we dive into the question of the day or the topic of the day, we want you to share brief about yourself, how you get to this point. So We
Thank
want to
you.
hear here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, it's my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, sir.
Just like you said, my name is Usman Idris Nda-Umar. Actually, from Niger State.
Yeah.
My lingua franca is Nupe, actually in
Nupe.
Niger. Yeah. The Yorubas call it Tapa.
Tapa. Oh.
Yeah. So we are actually linked with the
Together.
Yorubas. So. Well, I think, let me put it this way. I was born over 40 decades ago, actually.
Wow.
And I'm a graduate of Usman Idris University and the University of Ibadan,
Wow.
Wow.
all in Nigeria.
Best universities.
Yeah.
All in Nigeria, by the way.
Yeah. I decided to come to Malaysia for my Ph.D., currently a Ph.D. student in chemistry. In University Putra Malaysia, and just like you said, just last June, the Nigerians in UPM
Yeah.
decided that I should be their leader, rather their servant.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm the current chairman of NAIJACOM.
Wow.
But before then, my source of livelihood in Nigeria, I'm a teacher, I'm a lecturer
Yeah.
with the Federal Polytechnic, and actually it's been a while too, almost getting to 20 years now or more.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I've occupied other positions even there. I was one time head of department.
Wow.
I was a director of a directorate. And at the level of the union, actually, leadership position right from my primary school, I've been a monitor. Down to the secondary school, I was a prefect.
Wow.
And at the university level, actually, I didn't contest for any position, but there's a way you come together, even at the level of the university. Even though didn't occupy any particular position, I'm always listened to. And at the Polytechnic, I was the chairman of the academic staff union of that chapter.
Wow.
And then for 4 years, and I became the national secretary general of that same union, the whole over Nigeria, actually, at the national level. So, well, I think these are some of the few offices I've held up until today.
Wow.
It's an amazing transition. I liked how you transitioned from like being a prefect.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Like myself too, I was a prefect in school. So like I understand the build up to that. I feel like we should just dive in.
Yeah.
Let me just our topic for today is leadership. It's leadership. Now, a lot of people, like a school of thought will say that leadership is inbuilt. That is, it's in you. While another school of thought would think that a leadership can be taught, it can be impacted into you. Now, in the midst of all that, there are people who get leadership through like their financial status. There are people who gain leadership through like family, like the power in family. There are people who get leadership through different means. Now, all these means gets lost in transition to what a leadership is, to what a leader is. Now, my question is, sir, from your point of view, who is a leader?
Thank you for that beautiful question, really. Actually, just like you said, there are so many school of thoughts of leadership. But simply, leadership is about influence. It's as simple as that. Leadership is about influence. And you can be a leader without knowing, really. Yeah. And let me say, I go with the definition of Quincy Jones, who says, if your action inspired anybody or makes someone to dream or to become a better person, you're a leader. So what you are doing here, I believe, is contributing to the betterment of someone, somewhere.
Yeah.
So you guys are leaders.
Wow.
Your actions speaks. What do you do? How do you influence others? How do you bring people together? How do you mobilize and said, this is the way to go to a particular goal, a beneficial goal, because that is very important, a positive goal. That is very, very important, very, very important. Because as a mobilizer, as a leader, you can mobilize people negatively.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we are looking at the positive side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you can influence an individual, you are a leader. And that's why I also believe in the school of thought that every person is a leader.
Wow. Wow.
So every person is a leader.
Is a leader.
That's amazing.
Wow.
But I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
But like you said it now, and it's just a conversation. Like you just said, everybody's a leader. There are a lot of people out there that they don't even understand what's a capacity of leadership in which they handle, or which they control, which it's in them. So to somebody who doesn't understand what leadership is, and you just tell him I'm a leader, how do they start? How do they build? How do they discover that thing that makes them a leader?
I think that is the greatest challenge. How do you bring out the leadership in you?
Yeah.
How do people know that, no, this man is a leader or is a future leader? And just like you said initially, some people are born leaders, some learn leadership or acquire leadership. The fact that I said everybody is a leader depends on the constituency you look at. Even in your house, you are influential. So even in that small house, you can make things happen. However, it depends on the level. And then you graduate to the highest. So leadership, right from community, organization, right from family, you can be a leader. Now, it now remains how you translate upstairs, actually. So, as long as you can improve on the status quo, you're already a leader.
Wow. Whoa. Thank you, sir. We really appreciate that.
I like that. I like the way you gave us that.
Thank you.
So there are differences between born leaders and those that study to be a leader, because you can as well study it. So do you think leadership to be more individual quality, or would you say it is more to do with personal learning? We say if you believe you learn. So in short, let me just put it this way: are leaders made or born?
Both.
Oh.
Both. You can be born a leader, and if you don't improve yourself, you remain static.
Stagnant.
You remain stagnant, and we don't feel your impact. So even if you're a born leader, you must hone it. You must improve.
Wow.
You must improve daily. You must continue to learn. And as long as you learn, you develop, you become a better leader. So the same thing, you become a better. So the same thing with someone who also acquire leadership. The difference is just that someone who is a born leader, it is much easier for him or her. That is just the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything becomes natural.
Yeah, they gravitate towards it.
That's it. So it's easier for you. You don't see it as a burden. You see it natural. You understand? So that's just the difference. Otherwise, even if you're a born leader and you don't develop yourself, then you will not be a better leader.
Oh, wow. But I've heard someone that says if you don't have good values, that you cannot be a good leader. And then now you have said in the first question that everyone can be a leader, and then we know that, but there are some people that they cannot stay honest. they cannot they are not they cannot stay committed to something. They can easily be divert to something else. So now, how will you say such person can be a leader?
Thank you. Nobody is actually born bad. Nobody. Bad character is acquired along the line as
Yeah.
you grow.
Yeah.
So that's why I said everybody is a leader.
Wow.
So you become a better leader depending on the traits, the
exposure.
characteristics you acquire along the line. You understand? And I also talked about negative leadership.
Yeah.
Also. So nobody is born bad. And that's why I say everybody is a leader. You understand? So
Yeah.
it now depends on the characters you develop along the line. Makes you a bad leader, a
Or
good leader, an exceptional leader, and so on.
Wow.
Thank you very much for that, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, now, in an organization or in a country or in any place where leadership is being applied, there's never 100% satisfaction. There's either 50-50. It's either some people 50% are satisfied with like the leadership and another 50% are not. Then in the midst of all that, there are leaders who serve by being in the midst of the people they are serving. There are leaders who stay far, and there are leaders who you don't see at all, but their impact are felt. Now, I'm saying that to say, like, how can a leader lead? As in, what's the job of a leader? How can they impact? Is there anything like a perfect impartation? Can they lead perfectly?
Truly, thank you for that question. You know, perfection, for me, belongs to God. Perfection belongs to God. As far as I am concerned, for human beings, perfection is not ours. So we make mistakes, and we will continue to make mistakes. What is important is to learn from the mistakes,
That we
correct
make.
them. You understand, and move on.
Yeah.
So there is nothing like perfect leadership or perfect being. We don't have it. Only God is perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we don't have perfect leadership. But we can have leadership that everybody is satisfied with.
And 100% satisfaction.
It might not be
No.
100 because it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But you are satisfied. You know, even in examination,
Yeah.
you don't need 100% to get
To
to have
promote.
grade A.
No.
That's why there is always a room for maybe from 70, they say you score A,
A.
not 100.
Yeah.
So good. So even in leadership position, you don't have to score 100, and you don't. And truly, once you score 100%, then there's a problem with it. Well, I'm going to question that leadership because sometimes a leader must take a decision that is as hard as you think. It will hurt his own people, hurt the organization, but it's in the best interest of that organization and the people. At that point, he will be a bad leader.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult to have 100%. Some people will definitely have one thing or the other
To say.
against you. But what is important is, have you made the impact on the majority? If the answer is yes, then you are a leader, a good leader.
Wow.
Yes.
So, thank you. I'm really enjoying this.
Thank
And why I say that is that we've just seen what you did in the short time you've been as the leader or the chairman of Nigerians in UPM. We find out that the CIMB Bank, they have been closing accounts, bank accounts
Yeah.
of Nigerians. They just close without explanation, and now you are able to move the motion, and then immediately there's changes. And that is why I appreciate your statement that you said that leadership is about influence. So now, it's about influence. There are some people that are extroverts, and there are some that they are introverts. So how can either of those, I mean, those two people be leader? Maybe extrovert, yes, okay, it will be easier. But can introvert be a leader?
Thank you. Actually, if you follow my definition of everybody is a leader,
Yeah.
then it clearly shows that both the extrovert and the
And
introvert
introvert
can be a leader. Now, it now depends. And truly, even the school of thought classify them into four in terms of extrovert two, introvert two.
Oh.
And the four have their own qualities, good qualities as well as
The bad qualities.
the bad ones.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
understand?
Yes, sir.
So you can have good leaders that are introverts. You can also have good leaders that are extrovert. But I must say this. Leaders don't talk much. Good leaders don't talk much. To be very frank, they don't talk much. Just like I said, we have good leaders that are extroverts, and we have good leaders that are introverts. But on a general note, good leaders don't talk much, but they communicate effectively, even though they don't talk much. They communicate effectively.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's that's amazing. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Now, like Sir Patrick said, he said an introvert being a leader. Now, I know that everybody is a leader and an introvert can easily be a good leader, but it's the fact that it's taking time for people to understand their leadership, their leadership aim and how they are going to lead, because they don't communicate much. Does that little factor make them a bad leader, or should we just take it as it is, or we should like put it in the section of being a bad leader? That's little time of them not being able to communicate to the people they are leading.
No. You can't call them a bad leader, but you can call them to be slow. Remember I said a leader, even though he doesn't talk much, must learn to communicate effectively. When you talk about extrovert and introvert, it can also be relative. Someone you consider to be an introvert to you might not be
To
To
the
someone
other
else.
to
person.
someone else.
Yeah,
And
that's
so-
true.
Yeah, so it depends on the angle you look at it. There are people that generally they are reserved.
Yeah.
They don't talk much. But when it matters, they talk. And that is the effective communication I'm talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Wow.
Yeah, just one more thing. Wait, I know this is just a simple question. Like I'm trying to answer it by myself, but I just feel like I should ask.
Okay.
Effective communication, is it a skill, or is it something that is
Inbuilt.
inbuilt? Like, can an introvertive leader, for example, can he learn effective communication to be like to a perfect, well, not perfect, nobody's perfect,
Yeah.
but to like a point where it can work?
You know, God is wonderful. There is nothing you cannot learn. That is the good thing. There is nothing you cannot learn, especially in the 21st century.
Yeah.
So, effective communication, even if you are a born orator, you must learn how,
To
when.
communicate.
You understand? How, when to speak, what to say, how to say it. So, they can be learned. You can learn all these attributes. The only thing, as I said earlier, is if you are a natural orator, it makes things easy
Easier.
for you, much easier for you.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
just all. But you must also go to develop yourself.
Yeah,
with
that
the
extra
same
mile.
skills. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Wow. So let me ask this based on your position. Please, can you tell us, a little about how you leverage your leadership skills, as an emergent leader right now, as the chairman of NAIJACOM, because I know it's not many people want to be in that position, So, what are some of your characteristics, that you display that makes you to get to that point?
Well, the way leaders are choosing in NAIJACOM is
Different.
quite different because
Okay.
people are nominated even when they don't know, actually.
Wow.
Maybe some people have seen one
Or two
good thing
things.
or the other in you, and they will nominate you. And now it's not left for you to accept or not, or for the people to accept or not. Actually, that was how I was nominated. In fact, I was even surprised myself because I think I'm reserved to some extent.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm reserved to some extent. So, but when I was called to duty, and after looking at, I felt I should serve. I think, I'm very sorry to say, I don't want
Yeah.
to sound
Pompous.
or
Privileged.
praising myself.
Yeah,
But I want
privileged.
to say, I think one thing that's led me to where I am now, perhaps, is humility.
That's a factor too.
What I mean by humility here is, if you think, just like you said, that
Yeah.
within this short time we have achieved something,
Exactly.
people might not know. It's just like Isaac Newton said, that when you see me seeing further than others, it's because he actually stood on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is humility. All the things that you think we've achieved within this short time is because I'm humble enough to ask those who know to tell me, how do you go about this? How do you do this? And once I get that, I move into action. Incidentally, the former chairman is still around. I consult him often.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Ibrahim.
Yeah, we had
I
him.
also consult him often.
Yeah.
Mr. Ibrahim, how did you do this if there's a problem? Secretly, he would tell me.
That's
People would think that it's my own
Idea.
idea, but they don't know that I have consulted.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is humility. Asking people that you want to know.
Yeah.
Asking people to show you the way. And you move on.
Wow.
And
So let me tell our audience, if you are listening to us right now, Mr. Usman has really made it clear that you can be extroverts, you can be introverts. We are all born leaders.
yeah.
At a particular level you find yourself, you are a leader. So you can get things done. And he's justifying himself that he's reserved to some extent.
Yeah.
And he's moving things. I'm telling you, if you know the goal that Mr. Ibrahim have set, you have to be smart enough to
Surpass
beat
that,
it,
yeah.
to do something,
Yeah.
because he has touched almost everything. But it's so awesome when I start checking what Mr. Usman is
Has
really
done
doing.
after that. Yeah.
Different direction and very effective.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, as a leader, you have to influence,
Yeah.
even if you appear.
Yeah.
If you can influence the other person to do better things, then you are a leader. I remember Mr. Ibrahim said, if some set of people, because he came on the show, and he said, if some set of people sitting around the table about to eat or do something that is important to all of them, and there's the need to put on the light, that person that stood to do it is a leader. So now you talked about humbleness, that you are able to humble, so you can ask questions even from the least person. You can ask as long as it will make
difference,
ways.
yeah.
So we really appreciate that.
Thank
Um,
you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just waiting for you to finish because I wanted to say something. Now, I want to classify that communication between you and Mr. Ibrahim as an effective communication. Like, that's the type of skill, too, that a lot of leaders lack. Now, we come from nations where there's a lack of that, because every leader wants to make a revolution whenever they are placed in that seat, because they want to do something different. But like what you said now, what I understood from that is that you can actually continue from where somebody stopped.
Yeah.
That makes leadership even easier.
Yes.
But ego and pride has derived us from doing that.
Yes.
And that's why most of our African countries are suffering because of that communication. Now that takes me to my question for you, sir. But before then, we can look at countries like Qatar, Austria, France. They have young leaders. And these people are they are being effective. They are doing things that are impacting their nation. Now, I'm saying that to ask that, is age a factor to being a leader, or does age play any role to leadership?
Truly, to me, age is not a very big factor, really, in leadership. It's not. You can have someone of over 70 doing far better than someone less than 40. Yes. And so age is not a factor. The only thing that age will tell the general public is your maturity. Are you mature enough to handle certain things? Perhaps age will tell you that, okay, I think he's okay, he can handle it. Because you can't give, for example, someone of 20 to handle a nation like ours.
Like ours.
Like ours, where things don't work. But you'll be shocked that in America, you can have someone of 20
Of course.
as even the president of that nation. Why? Because the institutions work.
So it depends on the environment.
It depends on the environment. In fact, one of the things, since I assume leadership and grow to know leadership, I realize that we have a very serious challenge that we are refusing to acknowledge. People say democracy is the best form of government. Why? Because of popular participation.
Yeah.
But what we refuse to do is identifying the kind of democracy we need that should be peculiar to us. Even in America, we say we practice democracy from America. They have they have a unique
System. Yeah, that system is very unique.
That is a system where someone who won the majority vote couldn't be declared president.
Yeah.
And in democracy, what I know in democracy is the majority
wins the vote.
So people don't understand this.
It's deeper than that.
Yes, it's far deeper than that. Leadership, good leadership, you must be deliberate. Having a kind of government that suits you, you must be deliberate also. And that is the challenge. So, depending on the system you find yourself, age is not an essential factor, really. There are other qualities that, to me, they are key. Age is actually
Down.
And depends on the environment.
The environment.
You know, like Africa, and in particular, Nigeria, we don't train leaders. We don't train leaders deliberately. Most of our leaders just found themselves in that position, some accidentally.
Yeah.
Unlike the developed nations, France, just like you said,
Qatar,
and so on,
yeah.
there is deliberate.
There's a process.
There's a process to train their kids
Towards
in a particular direction.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that is it.
Yeah.
So for us, and that's why you can see someone that is recently, not too long ago, the president of Nigeria signed not too young to run bill. But I must tell you that I'm not in support of that bill. I'm not. You saw what happened recently.
Yeah.
We are a senator, a very young man,
Abo.
a youth, Abo.
Yeah.
You saw what he did.
Yes.
Youthful, exuberant. Even though there are other youths that will do better.
Yeah,
You understand? But that is our culture. The youths, right from kids, are not given direction, leadership direction, early enough. And so sometimes you grow up to 40 before you know that, okay, I want to be even a counselor. Where you have someone less than 40 to be president of
France.
Yeah.
So I think that is it. So
Wow.
age is not really a factor.
Just depending
on the environment you find
find
yourself, really.
Yeah.
There
What's
are
that?
other factors that are key.
Yeah. What's that? I just want to add, like, it's a question, but it's an addition too.
Yeah.
In those environments where, like you said, age is not a factor. Like in our nation, Nigeria, we need experience to be able to handle the kind of
caliber.
I don't know the word. I was looking for the word to use, sir.
We are a complex society.
Yeah. I think complex is the word for it.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like in the midst of all that rough, in the midst of all that rawness, there are some youths that can create an impact. Like that's what I feel. Now, but those people are being marginalized. Like they are covered because of
No.
To me, they are not covered.
No.
It's a function of so many things, really. Function of so many things, especially in our system. If you say so, I will tell you, the former speaker, number 3 person, I think in hierarchy, Dimeji Bankole, was a young speaker in Nigeria. He's a young, as far as I'm concerned, as at that time, he was a very young guy. And he did well. So, but in Nigeria, you need to come up.
Yeah.
People need to identify you
Exactly.
before you can be given opportunity. That's the reality.
there has to be like a shaking of some sort.
Shaking, and also, what is your antecedents?
Exactly.
Especially,
what have you done?
yeah, especially in our
Your
country
impact.
where leadership is seen as a privileged position to enrich
Yeah.
Each other.
Yeah.
each other.
That's
So it's
facts.
difficult to just remain in one corner of the country and someone will identify you. No.
So, sir, so is it name calling that is better for the youth now? Because since age is not a factor now, and if you see our youth, most of the youth, it's just name calling. It's not good. That one
they
is not
point
good.
fingers.
But the major problem, they did not participate.
Yeah.
They did not participate. You see, what's this guy's name? Showere. He said Nigerians youth, we are over 70, almost 70%. So that is, if Nigerian youth votes for someone, they win.
Yeah, but the youths that will vote will definitely have confidence in you first.
Exactly.
So if they don't have confidence in you, how do they vote you?
Yeah, they need that thing to come out.
How? It's not possible. So, and I will give you an example of this current president, President Buhari.
Yeah.
For me, it's not the best president we should have.
Yeah.
But do you know his cult followership? With thousands, millions to be youth. And he is over 70. Why? Because they trust him.
Yeah. Experience.
It's not even
No,
experience. They
outside
trust
experience,
him
trust.
that if they give him 1 kobo belonging to the country,
He will not steal it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a popular notion.
No, that's what I'm just telling
Yeah.
you. So, when you talked about youth, why? Youth is not enough. You must have the education. You must have the knowledge. And that's why I say I'm against that.
Bill.
For me,
Not too young to run.
Yeah. For me, instead of emphasizing age, we should be emphasizing knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
Level of education. in this age, 21st century, the qualification is still primary school certificates or secondary school certificates. So I think that should be the emphasis, and not even age.
Sir, sorry. I just want to ask this really fast. Knowledge versus experience.
Yeah.
Who wins?
No. That, you see, knowledge and experience leads to wisdom. Knowledge
An experience.
can be acquired. You can get knowledge easily. Experience takes time. But wisdom is to combine that experience
And the knowledge.
and the knowledge
And born something different.
and get something else. That is the wisdom.
Application of knowledge.
Application of knowledge.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is wisdom.
So,
Time.
that thank you, sir.
Amazing
we
conversation.
Really
Amazing
appreciate
conversation.
your
You're
time.
welcome.
So, there's one thing I need to ask, and maybe I've been on wrong foot on that, but there are so many qualities of a leader, and one of them is honesty.
Yeah.
That is, you tell the truth all the time.
Yeah.
Now, what can you explain about political correctness? You know, where he told me something about you,
You
and
can't divulge that information.
now I'm the leader. You want to ask, and you are now asking, what did he say? And I know if I tell you the truth, there will be issue.
Yeah.
Then I'm trying to divert that question. That is political correctness. You're trying to, you are not saying the exact
And
thing.
sugarcoating.
But here you have to be honest. So,
Yeah. Let me tell you, one of the qualities of a leader is to be able to strike a balance. You must be able to strike a balance. In fact, if you cannot, you are a danger. People must have trust in you. So I can in confidence tell you the truth and say, don't tell people. And now you decide otherwise. I can't trust you again. And so you as a leader, you must be able to strike a balance between these two. You must keep your information confidential,
Yeah.
but you must also act.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to lie, but you can say, I can answer that question.
Yeah.
Instead of lying. Sorry, I'm not prepared to answer your question. Simple. Rather than saying a different thing someone told you. Because telling someone a different thing is outright lie.
It leads to.
But you can tell me something and you can ask me about what he said, and I say, sorry, I'm not prepared to tell you. That's not a lie. That's a fact.
Yeah.
but that is political correctness.
You know, the way we look at politics, and that is one person, one of my mentors, which I so much cherish, Barack Obama. He is an orator. He can say things differently, meaning the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
The context doesn't change.
You understand? And so, as a leader, you must also have this. The way you call it, you might say political correctness, but as far as I'm concerned, I call it a balance.
Balance.
Yeah, a leader should be able to balance all these forces together. You must be able, because if you don't confide in people as a leader, I'm very sorry, you will fail. You must confide in people. And it's when you confide in people that people will have that trust and confidence
in you.
to come and tell you the truth. And once you know the truth, you can take the right decision.
Yeah.
You cannot be everywhere as a leader.
No.
So you need people to give you the information
Sure.
and for you to act.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Well, I wish to be here for another 1 hour.
Another two.
But time And I know some of our viewership, they
Listenership.
want us to put the time down a bit. But, in serious topic like this, it's so, it's not easy to call the time.
At
But,
all.
well, I'm going to mix it together. This will be your close remark.
Okay.
And at the same time, I will chip in a question there. There is a concept known as servant leadership. That you lead by serving. And I've said something about what Mr. Ibrahim said about people sitting down, the person that will go to put on the light. So my question is, how can that be achieved if the job has been shared between everybody, and then the leader? Okay, now you are chemistry genius, and I'm mathematics, and is say something different, Greek, and you are a leader. So, and now you have to lead, you have to serve. You want to show us the way, and it's not performing well in the agriculture area. How do you help that?
No, well, thank you. I think this is a broad question somehow. But I want to say that it's not about really what you read. What you read is just to give you the foundation. To give you the foundation of life. You'll be shocked that you do a different thing from what you have read.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but what is the policy? Which policy do you want to implement? What is your target? And then you now get the people that will get you to that target, and you drive the process.
Wow.
As a leader. And that's what a leader does, to guide, to develop people and drive them to a particular goal. Despite the pains, despite the fact that some might not like it, but at the end, because a leader has a vision. And a vision is an imaginary thing.
Yeah.
You cannot see it, but the leader actually is seeing it.
Exactly.
And he wants you to get there. So definitely, he has to convince you somehow, if you must support him on the same boat to that destination.
Yeah.
Wow.
You understand? So, servant leadership, really, as they call it, is not something unique. It's not new. That is what leadership should be. It's about service. It's about service. Leadership is about service. It's not about enrichment. It's not about making name.
You have to impact.
You have to impact. You just have to impact. And I must say this, the basic qualities of leadership, the issue of vision, the issue of wisdom, the issue of discipline, the issue of courage, the issue of friendship. A leader must be friendly.
Easy
A
to
leader
talk to.
must cultivate friendship.
Yeah, effective communication.
Yeah.
Friendship. You understand? A leader must be inspiring. You understand? A leader must be able to take decision. You must learn to take decision. It doesn't mean all the decisions will be right all the time, but at a point you must take a decision.
Yeah.
It might be wrong. You might make mistakes.
You have
And
to.
when you make mistake,
You handle it. How you handle it
Keep it on you.
matters.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, above all these things, we are moving into, we're already in the 21st century,
Yeah.
Yeah.
moving towards the 22nd even.
Yeah.
Leadership is dynamic and it's changing because the society is changing.
It's
Yeah.
changing.
The society is changing. I'll give you an example. That is the challenge we are having. The people who have tried in leadership position, we realize they're not doing well. And then we are going back to pick those who we actually trust. And that's why in Malaysia, people went back to pick someone that is over 90.
Yeah.
Because they trust him
Back
But they have
then,
forgotten that it's a different society today.
Yeah. It's a different environment.
yeah.
The same
understanding.
thing. People actually see in the same President Buhari as a messiah
Yeah.
because of the 84
Experience.
year experience.
Or what he has done.
And that's why they brought him. They have forgotten that the society has
Has
changed.
changed.
Yeah.
So, in going forward,
Hmm.
we need different sets of leaders.
Yeah.
Wow.
And those leaders in this 21st century must be someone who can learn and unlearn.
Adapt.
Unlearn the old ones, learn
learn
the
the
new
new one.
skills. 2, we need leaders that are communicate effectively with their citizens
Yeah.
or with their team members or organization
A circle.
or even in the house. If you are leader of the house, you must learn to communicate well with your children, with your wife.
Yeah.
If there is no effective communication, there will be a problem. We need leaders who can think ahead, far, far ahead. We need leaders who are thinkers, who are readers. They read a lot, read experiences of others,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then fashion out a better future. In closing, as much as I appreciate the two of you doing a wonderful
Thank you.
job
Thank
for
you, sir.
inviting me,
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
I want to quote Bill Newman, who says that the popular maxis of looking at the bright future should be the other way around. Rather, we should have bright people so that our future
Can be bright.
can be bright. And as I said, 2 things, opportunities and dangers. If we have the right leaders, especially in the future, then our future is assured because there will be a lot of opportunities. But if we make mistake not to have the right leaders,
In the future.
danger looms.
Yeah. To be dark.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Wow. So, please, listenership, viewership, wherever you are, it is the time, it's high time to activate your leadership.
Yes.
No matter what age you have,
No matter where you are.
no matter where you are, you need to activate it. Start influencing someone for good. So, and that is the starting point.
Yeah.
You be surprised what you can do.
Yeah.
But last week we said something about having good ideas, behind bad pictures. It's not possible. You are a leader and then you sag, make your hair, like
Appearance
your
matters.
appearance. But you have ideas that you want to share. Who will listen when your appearance is bad? So I think this is part of the things that people are going away from us.
Yeah, you have
So
to prepare
please
yourself.
try as much as possible for you to dish out your ideas, your leadership skill. You have to work on your appearance too. So, and I know we'll get there.
Yeah.
So we want to appreciate you all for listening
Yes.
and viewing this episode. And we hope we have been able to answer some of your questions out there. We would like to appreciate Mr. Usman Idris Nda-Umar for taking our time to be with us today. I know he's busy, and there's one thing that is so shocking today, and I'm going to share it. We usually start this podcast around 3 o'clock, and we gave him time. The first time
In
we
history.
are having our guest to come almost 1
Sabbatic,
hour
we
before
need-
time.
I feel like we need to clap. We need to clap for this.
Thank you. I'm humbled.
This
Wow.
has never people this has never happened
No,
before.
no.
We've never had
1
this.
hour before time.
We've never had this before.
And it's amazing.
Amazing.
And we can do more than that.
Yeah.
Please, timing will give you, the way you take whatever you do with your time, make people respect you more.
Yeah.
So if you are giving time, make sure you are there. no African time, no Nigerian time. So let's work on that. So if you want to reach out to Mr. Usman for more clarification or whatever, you can reach him via his email.
Yeah.
Nda-Umar. That is UINDAUMAR @gmail.com. And on the screen, if you are watching the video, you will see his phone number.
Right now. Yeah.
His phone number, both in Malaysia and in Nigeria. So he will talk to you there. This is the DIY podcast. The Do It Yourself podcast. You don't have to wait for anyone.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you once again.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me just say this. If you've watched this video, and you have any questions or you have any opinions or you have anything to share regarding this discussion we just had, because the discussion doesn't just finish in this room.
Yeah.
We can take it further.
Yeah.
You can just, if you don't want to reach out to Mr. Usman personally, you can just go to our comment section and drop a comment. We'll get the question to him and we'll get to your answer. Or you just want to have a conversation with him, we can make that happen. So just give us your feedback in the comment section. Thank you. Sapa, you can continue. Sorry.
Okay. I know there are some angels bringing information to him, to Kelvin. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And so we'll say thank you once again and hope to catch you next time.
Peace.
Bye.